Hi, welcome to episode 27 of Mike Smith's Brain. If you haven't noticed, I haven't shaved for a while, so that's a little bit different. But other than that, today we are talking about data centers. This is going to be a two-part video series, and what we're going to do is tell you a little bit about what we've learned over the years about shopping data centers. So as we've shopped data centers with IT professionals from small and mid-sized companies, I've noticed that there's certain things that you guys seem to point out that you really need. And so usually about halfway through the quoting process, you're going through a data center tour, and certain features of the data center are starting to pop up, and I can tell which ones are more important to you guys than others. So I thought this might help. So rather than you guys going and quoting a bunch of data center providers randomly and figuring some of these things out halfway through the process, we're going to give you some of these features up front so that you can know them and start to qualify up front which data center providers you want to quote. And as always, you can always contact us. We can help you do this, but if you want to do it on your own, here you go.
AeroCom drastically reduces the amount of time it takes for IT professionals to find the best telecom and cloud solutions for their business. Our president, Mike Smith, works with over 150 providers. You can pick his brain to find the most beneficial technology and best provider for your business.
One thing you want to consider when looking at a colocation provider is, are they within their own data center or are they co-locating within another carrier's data center? Do they have half cabinets or do they have half cabinets and full cabinets? If your company only needs half of a rack or half of a cabinet, you want to make sure that they offer that specific type of service. Some providers only have full cabinets. The next piece you want to consider is their percentage to capacity. How much capacity do they have, right? You don't want to go with a co-location provider or a data center provider who's almost maxing out their space, right? So if you have the need for growth or you're expecting a big booming growth over the next 5 to 10 years, you want to make sure you choose a data center provider that can grow with you. So if geographic redundancy is an important piece to you, you want to make sure you do research on their geographic redundancy. So you want to see where their data centers are located. Are they only located in California if you're a Southern California based business? Or do they have data centers spread out throughout the nation? Is this provider ISP agnostic, or do you have to use their internet service, right? So if you are looking at a co-location provider and they do not care which provider you bring in, or they have network-to-network interfaces within their co-location to where you can utilize different carriers for bandwidth, we want to look at that up front. ISP connectivity. You want to make sure that you do your research on their fiber paths into their data center. So if that specific data center has only one path from one certain carrier, if that line gets cut, that data center is down. So if reliability and redundancy is important to you, which I presume it is, you want to make sure you do research to see how many fiber paths they have coming into the data center and how many different carriers they have as well coming into the data center. If reliability is important to you and you have to have consistent power, or that might be a concern of yours, you want to make sure you understand which power grid your carrier is on. You can do research on this. You can see whether or not this particular data center has had outages or not. And like I said, if that's an important piece to you, then you want to make sure you do your research on their power grid. Do they have remote hands? So if you need 24/7, 365 support, you don't have the staff to provide that type of support, you want to make sure that you find a provider who can do that for you. So if you need a server to be reset or spun up at odd hours of the day, you want to make sure that you have a provider who can do that and accommodate you there. Does your co-location provider offer cloud services? So for example, you can have a telecom provider offering you co-location or data center services, but you might want to layer on some cloud services on top of that. If that provider has cloud services enabled within their data center, there'll be less connectivity time or less latency to get into that cloud network, so you can actually more seamlessly layer on services within that data center.
Okay, so that's episode 27. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for episode 28, where we talk about the next half of features. Have a great day. Wait! If you like the videos, there's a lot more where that came from. Just follow us on social media and make sure you get the next one. You like all of them. And also, if you want to spend a lot less time gathering cloud and telecom quotes and work with an honest and trustworthy person, make sure you find out how at aerocominc.com. Have a great day.